Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on mentoring to celebrate International Mentoring Day, which is today, which is fantastic. I'm Craig Wilcock. I'm the Professional Development Manager here at CIEEM and I'm hosting today's webinar. Some housekeeping before we start today. Please can you all make sure your microphones are turned off, please. If you have a question, please do put it in the chat and we'll be going through these at the end, ready for the Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. And just let you know that all these slides and the recording will be sent to you post-webinar, and this will be lasting about an hour, the webinar. Okay. So to start us off, what we'll cover today, we'll look at the role of a mentor, an overview of the mentoring platform itself, the mentoring experience, how you can get involved, and a Q&A session towards the end. Okay, shall we start then? So to start with, what is a mentor? So a mentor is someone who encourages and supports a person to make the most of their career and develop their personal skills. They do this providing non-judgmental guidance and support. It's also impartial. A mentor's role isn't to tell a mentee what to do, it's actually to act as a guide. Also, a mentor isn't expected to have all the answers. Instead, they would use their knowledge, perspective, and experience to work with the mentor and act as a sounding board, and then also draw up questions and answers with the mentee to create some suitable options going forwards. Currently, we have 124 mentors signed up using the platform and about 386 mentees. They're people who are actually receiving mentoring. So we've approximately got about 7,000 members here at CIEEM. So you can see we've got a vast opportunity here to actually recruit more mentors, but also mentees to actually use this membership benefit. So who can become a mentor? So basically anybody can become a mentor if you're a CIEEM member. So if you're a CIEEM member, which hopefully you are today, or if you're not, then obviously please do join. You could be any grade of membership, so from student right up to fellow membership. You can be at any career stage, so you can be early careers, mid-career, senior, or even retired. All different experiences we're looking for to provide mentoring for other people in the sector. You can also be working in any role in any sector. The main requirement really is that having the ability to commit time and effort in delivering mentoring and developing a relationship with a mentee. That's the key requirement we're looking for. So just a quick overview of some of the skills and qualities of a mentor. So these include a desire to make a difference, a willingness to share your knowledge and experience, and also have some ideas with other people that may not be as experienced, or even if they may have more experience than you, maybe in a different area. Needs to have an approachable manner, and good listening, question, and feedback skills, and be able to just work through different options. And the main part as well is also helping others to reach their potential and understanding what that could be. So the role of a mentor entails various bits. So one part is actually exploring different scenarios with a mentee. So going through different work situations, maybe it could be a work-life balance, for example. It could be looking at seeking a promotion, how someone could apply for a job and what the scenarios might come from there. The role also entails widening perspectives and encourage them to look at different aspects. So looking at a problem from a different angle, how someone can apply for a different job again, maybe. Also acts as a sounding board for new ideas, listening and discussing personal and work issues, asking probing and stimulating questions, and also helping mentees set goals. So these are SMART goals primarily, and Chris will show through in the platform, the mentoring platform, we have a tool that actually helps you set SMART goals with a mentee. Also, the role of a mentor is providing honest and constructive feedback and ongoing support and encouragement. You're not there to kind of state to a mentee, this is what you need to do. It's kind of offering support and guidance and some options and working through those with them to consider them. The time commitment is about, it could be at any time really, what you can commit. So it could be 30 minutes a week, an hour every 2 weeks, or even an hour once a month. It really does depend on the relationship and actually how much time you can commit. Also the duration and the frequency of the meetings and the partnership, again, depends on the nature of the mentoring relationship. So for example, if it's a short-term goal to help a mentee filling a job application or a CV, that will be short-term. You might have more meetings over a shorter period of time, but if it's a more of a long-term goal, then you might have a monthly meeting of like an hour potentially throughout the year. And this can be done by video chat, which the mentoring platform enables. It can be done on Teams or Zoom or the telephone, or even if you live close to the mentees, potentially you could set up a face-to-face meeting. Some examples of what you could be doing. You could be reviewing CVs and covering letters with a mentee, helping with an upgrade of membership, or even applying for chartership, providing support and guidance on career development or training opportunities, or how to get the next promotion, helping somebody with their work-life and home life management in terms of time management and priority setting, project management skills, also people management skills. So it can be a whole range of disciplines, and it's also what you can provide. And the way the mentoring platform works is that the mentee would put on their profile what they're looking for, and on your profile you would put what criteria you can also provide. So that's how it links together, and Chris will go through that a bit more shortly. So later we'll hear a bit more about the experience of a mentor, mentors, and but before we do that, we'll also look at how you can benefit from a mentor. So mentoring is a two-way relationship, but obviously we're keen to that the mentors themselves also benefit from this. So this slide just gives an overview really of how you as a mentor potentially could benefit from providing mentoring. So some of the ideas could be you might develop your own problem solving skills or looking at different perspectives. It's CPD, so it counts as unstructured CPD. So you can use this towards your annual CPD criteria. You can pass on your knowledge and experience, and again, giving something back to the sector and to others. A chance to work on new and exciting challenges that you may not have come across in your day-to-day work. Building new connections. It's great to network across this sector. Everybody knows everybody, but it's the idea really a bit how we connect those connections sometimes in a remote world. Like, well, now it can be more difficult. So actually having a one-to-one with people you don't necessarily know is a great opportunity. Also the fact that you're potentially giving support to somebody else in developing their career is quite a good thing to do. The opportunity to develop your own ability to emphasize and build rapport with others. So having a one-to-one with someone who've not met before, could be a different career grade to you and a membership level. So having that rapport and building those networks and opportunities and that communication is key, and that may transfer into your future job role, as your own future job role. And again, it can help with your own career progression, develop coaching, leadership, and also your interpersonal skills. So I'll just hand over now to Chris Murray, who's the Director of Perform, Learn, Develop, who actually provide our mentoring platform. So I'll hand over to you, Chris.
Hi, everyone. My name's Chris Murray. I'm a Director and Founder of Perform, Learn, Develop. We've been doing the mentoring platform now mentoring platforms now for just over 10 years. We have a wide-ranging client base as part of that. Probably now about 90 professional bodies who use the platform. So the platform gets quite a lot of feedback, certainly gets a lot of use, gets feedback. So the platform's continually developed to make sure it's relevant and it's supporting both mentors and mentees' needs. In terms of accessing the platform, in terms of accessing the CIEEM platform, if you make your way to the CIEEM website, then under continuing professional development, you'll find on the right-hand side of the toolbar a link to the mentoring platform. There you've got the mentoring platform homepage. So you'll find there's another webinar on there that again takes you through the use of the platform, lots of supporting information for you, and then you can link off to the application. So the application, when we went through the implementation of the application with CIEEM, we have connected the platform to your systems. So there's single sign-on, so you don't need to create a separate username or password. You'll be authenticated through your CIEEM username and password. So once you've found the home page, if Craig, we could move to the next slide, please. You'll find in the on the homepage in the top right-hand corner this Learn More area. So there's a bit of a theme on the platform. we have developed a series of videos supporting materials. So the materials are in the form of video supporting PDFs, and those videos supporting PDFs are available at each stage of the user journey. So as Craig mentioned, there's plenty of materials there to support you joining as a mentor. There's also materials to support the mentee at each stage of the user journey. So once you're on the homepage, you can start to review the Learn More area. The videos here start to cover the benefits of mentoring, how you can get the most out of it, how to think about preparing. Once you have read those, reviewed the videos, and you're happy, your next stage is to create an account. Now, when you create your account, so on the platform, you can be a mentor, and obviously this webinar is focused towards mentors, but you can be a mentor, you can be a mentee, or you can be both roles from the same account. So if you want to join as a mentor and a mentee, you're more than welcome to do that. So if we move to the next slide, please, Craig. So once you've decided on your role, and you'll come into that side of the portal. So the videos, the supporting documentation, they change a little bit now. They start to become role specific. So the video will describe how to use the software. It will start to give you helpful hints and tips around creating your profile, thinking about your own skills as a mentor and how you may be able to support a mentee. Again, all the videos are supported by PDFs. There's a nice little infographic as well that you can click on, which will give you just on one screen the whole process in using the software. Now, again, you can see hopefully where you've got getting the most from mentoring, your first conversation, progressing the relationship and ending the relationship. The software is developed around those 4 stages, and there are resources to support you at each of those the stages of the mentoring. Now, at this stage, if you choose to, you can review all the relevant resources on the platform. However, they will be served up as well at the relevant point of the journey. So the next stage is quite simple. So you've onboarded, you now move to creating your profile. So when you're happy, if Craig, we go to the next slide, you click on Create Profile. And the platform will then allow you to enter information into your profile. Because the platform is basically, it's a matching platform. So as a mentor, you'll give a little bit of information in terms of your membership category, job role. This profile has been specifically configured for CIEEM. And there's hopefully not a big burden in terms of completing your profile. It's relatively simple. Just a couple, I suppose, of hints and tips here. You've got your areas. Now on this screenshot, the mentee would be identifying areas I would like help with. On the mentor profile, it mirrors that. So you would be identifying the areas you feel you can help with. And there are a series of those that we've worked with CIEEM on. So just have a look at those. It's all around what you feel comfortable around in terms of where you feel comfortable that you could support a mentee. You can choose as many or as few as you would like on your profile. You've then got your personal statement. So here it's great if you can give a little bit of information around your career background, where you feel that you would be able to support a mentee. So bringing to life a little bit your background, your experience, because if you can add your sort of like profile picture as well. Because then if we go to the next slide, Craig. So once you create your profile as a mentor, you'll get a message to let you know that the profile has been created. Now, the next step is the mentee is going to get in touch with you. So it's the software, the way it's developed is it's designed to be mentee driven, as it's at the end of the day, it's the mentee who is going to be getting the benefit of the mentor's support. So the mentee, when they save their profile, they will see this screen. So this is what the mentee will see. So they'll see a directory of the mentors. The matching on the platform will basically present the mentee with the closest matches to their development requirements, to their support requirements. So as a mentor, you will come up in these searches. Now, there's plenty of ways that you can manage your account. So you can support numerous mentees if you choose to, or if you've got one mentee and that's enough for you, you can go into the edit account. So you can go into your account details and you can take yourself out of the searches at any time. It won't affect your live relationships. But this is what the mentee will see now. So they will see a list of the mentors who best support their needs. They can continue to refine their search. So they can look for people in a particular region or an industry that they're interested in. Once they have got their searches, they can then click into the details of each mentor. So again, Craig, if we could move to the next slide, please. So they'll see a mentor profile, and here they'll see your career summary. So they'll see the career summary and the details that you've placed onto your profile. So the areas you feel that you can support a mentee in. Mentees can ask questions. So before they send a request, they might have a question for a mentor. Now, the platform is linked to the email address you've signed up to the program with. So you don't have to keep going into the platform to see what's going on. You'll get alerts at the relevant time. So if a mentee has sent you a mentoring proposal, you'll get an alert into the email address you've registered onto the program with. You'll get some reminders, not annoyingly so. The platform is there really just to let you know if you're getting requests. Once you're in a relationship, you'll see shortly you can book your meetings through the software. So if you're getting meeting requests, you'll get those through the software. So you get alerts. Mentees might choose as well to edit their details so they can make their proposal quite specific to your profile. And then when they're ready, they send the request. So they'll send the request and you'll get an alert to let you know that you've got a proposal. So we've moved to the next stage, please, Craig. So once you receive your request, you'll see the mentee's request details. You can then make a judgment call in terms of how you feel you can best support the mentee at that stage. Now, if the mentee has completely misinterpreted your profile, you've got the ability to decline that. The platform does ask you to give a reason, but sometimes mentee may have misunderstood your profile and what you can support with. So it's not a foregone conclusion in terms of the matching. You do get an opportunity to review the mentee's proposal. You as a mentor can ask questions as well before you decide to accept that proposal. But when you accept, you'll get a message to let you know that details have been exchanged between the mentee and mentor. So you both have each other's details. And the platform then opens up a series of support resources for mentee and mentor. So they're based around the 3 stages I described before. So preparing for a first conversation, progressing the relationship, and then finally, when you're ready, ending the relationship and what to do next. Now, the resources are quite straightforward, and they offer a combination of insight, but also process. So as a mentor, if you choose to use some of the process documentation on the platform to help you prepare for your meetings, to help you, continue the momentum in the relationship with the mentee, that's all there for you. And those resources are there to support each stage of the journey, really, from hints and tips around completing your profile, to specific mentoring techniques that you can familiarize yourself with. Certainly, specific skills like, how to develop your listening skills, questioning skills, how to give effective feedback. That's all there for you in each of the stages of the user journey and the supporting resources. So, Craig, if we move to the next stage. So, once you're connected with the mentee, the platform will open up a relationship dashboard. So, if you've got one mentee, that'd just be on one person on that dashboard, but you'll find certain mentors on the platform will have multiple relationships, maybe not at the same time, but over the period that they've been on the mentoring platform and they've been providing support to CIEEM mentees. So you've got this relationship dashboard, and here you can manage your messages between mentor and mentee. You can set up your meetings. The platform interacts with all the major calendars, so you can set up your meetings from the platform. You can take notes and actions. As Craig mentioned, there's a goal setting function as well. So you can work with your mentee to agree the goals you're going to try and achieve in the time you're together. So you've both got a route map in terms of what success might look like at the end of the mentoring relationship. So you've got your messages, you've got your meetings, you've got your goals, all in one place. At any point you want to make changes to your profile, you can just access your profile from any point on the navigation. You've got the resources that relate to your role. So the resources for you as a mentor, or if you're both roles, mentor and mentee. So I'll leave that there. There's, again, under the need help section, there's plenty of FAQs that will, reinforce what I've gone through and all aspects in terms of the functionality of the platform. So I'll hand back to you, Craig, if that's okay.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for providing a whistle-stop tour there of the mentoring platform. Much appreciated. So again, if you've got any questions for Chris, then please do drop into the chat and we'll pick up them in the Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. Okay, moving swiftly on. Now I'd like to introduce you to a couple of our members who are actually mentors. So we've got three of us today, Sue, Annie and Paul. I'll introduce them one at a time, and they're going to be basically talking to you all a bit about their background, some examples they've had of mentoring and what they provided, and also why they actually signed up to become a mentor. Okay, so I'll start off with Sue. Hello, Sue.
Hello. Right. You're okay. Sorry, slight technical hitch there. Right. I'm originally from America, and I did my PhD over there in ecology and behavioral biology, and came over to Northern Ireland to do some postdoc work. And as things happen, I'm still here. Relatively rapidly, I moved out of the academic sector, and I've spent my entire career postdoc working in the environmental NGO sector as a manager of a variety of NGOs. And most of my career was spent as the chief executive of Northern Ireland Environment Link, which is the umbrella body for all environmental NGOs in Northern Ireland. It's the equivalent of Wildlife and Countryside Link, or Scottish Environment Link, or Wales Environment Link. Retired about nearly 10 years ago. And since then, I have been doing work with a number of NGOs. Primarily, I'm chairman of Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful, which is the local equivalent of Keep Britain Tidy. And we're branching out and doing an awful lot of work on the whole range of community engagement in the environment at all levels, from climate change to anti-litter. I also managed to do a few interesting things over the years in my spare time, including some botanical research on Socotra Island off Yemen. And I'm trying to do a little bits and bobs in Madagascar. There is a bit of an island theme there. I started out in animal behavior, and the other thing I do in retirement, I got into dog training, and that was sort of a full circle thing. but it's mostly just fun. But it does show how you can take something that you learned a long time ago and apply it to something slightly differently. I've mentored a couple of people long term, and I've had a few others that sort of popped up and then never came to anything. There was a contact and then nothing else happened. The long term ones are obviously quite interesting and intense. And there are three main areas that I think you get from mentoring. The first is that you're helping people either when they're starting out their career, when they're maybe changing career or expanding their roles. And the third is if they're having issues, when they really need somebody to talk to. So I think it's a really important thing that you can do for those individuals. Secondly, is you're sharing the learning and experience that you have accumulated over your life, whether that be just, very recently having graduated or whether you're actually in retirement. And third is what Craig went into in great detail, is all about the benefits that you get for yourself. It's very fulfilling for you to be helping someone, and it's incredibly satisfying. And working through the sorts of issues that people have helps you focus more about your life as well. So I've thoroughly enjoyed the mentoring process, and I do highly recommend it from both sides, as a mentor and as a mentee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sue, for that. Thank you for your introduction there, and nice to hear about your experience, your background as well. Thank you very much. And now we've got Dr. Annie Say. Hello, Annie.
Hi everybody. I started my career in university, and both in England and then in France, and eventually became an environmental consultant, which I absolutely loved. First with our own company, and then with a big international company, and then went back to our own company. And all through this, you gain such a huge amount of experience. And I am recently retired, and I'm conscious that the potential as a mentor possibly decreases because you're not so up to date as perhaps some of the other people who are members of CIEEM, but I thoroughly enjoy it. I really, really do enjoy being a mentor. And I started mentoring in university. I did a university counselling qualification. I've worked with a huge number of students, but also on a Scottish Government programme, and also within our own business. I had a particular interest in HR, but also perhaps with people that were associates, or as you get older, sometimes people come to you and you develop relationships which are much more like a mentor and mentee role. And I find those hugely beneficial for me because I keep up to date in the sector, and it's thoroughly enjoyable and rewarding. Every single interaction with a mentee is unique and it's different. And certainly with my CIEEM interactions, they've all taken different journeys. I started in one place and they've ended up somewhere completely different. So to give an example, I started with one which was primarily to explore the world of EIA in more detail, but we've landed up talking about many, many parts of the profession, how you interact with your colleagues, how you look to progress your career, all sorts of different things. And I think that's one of the most interesting things. And it's a privilege to be able to share some of the experience that I've gained over so many years working with so many different clients, so many different people. And also, as Sue just said, it certainly isn't only one way, it's very much both ways. And I find it hugely rewarding coming back the other way. I think perhaps that captures why I wanted to be a mentor, or why I've always been a mentor as long as I can. And that's because I've really been interested in the quality of work that consultants produce. And I have seen issues over the last years. And I think if there are ways that we can help to keep the quality of work in the profession as high as it can be, that's very rewarding. But also it's about supportive relationships with staff, with clients, and now with mentees. And I think the CIEEM mentor program provides an opportunity to share that experience and what you've learned over the years, good things and bad things. You know, life is a pattern of ups and downs, and it's great to be able to share those and discuss them and listen to what your mentee is particularly interested in. So I feel it's been a huge privilege to be part of the mentor program, and I can encourage anybody who really wants to do it to follow it. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you very much, Annie, and thank you for providing some insights there in your role as a mentor. So very much appreciated. Thank you. And now on to Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from a snowy Liverpool. Great to see you all here on this webinar. My story is the same, you might say, as Annie and Sue's, but it's all the other way round. First of all, unfortunately, I'm still working. I have got a few years left. And also that I started off working, you might say, in the industry, out there in local authority and nature conservation, and ended up in academia. A little bit about my story. I started off my career back in 1987. My first job was as an assistant coastal ranger on the sand dunes of the Sefton Coast with Sefton Council and the Sefton Coast Management Scheme, working with the council, local authority, but very closely with Nature Conservancy and English Nature, as it was then, and the National Trust, and a whole load of private landowners as well. I eventually became the senior ranger for the coast, but also the countryside, sort of country parks and local nature reserves elsewhere, along with the internationally important coastal dune system. Then in the mid-90s, I was on the Sefton Coast again, was the project officer for a very large LIFE EU co-financed LIFE nature project to develop a strategy for nature conservation for this complex dune system, the largest one in England, open dunes in England, and to implement a whole range of practical management works across the dunes, including buying land. Then in 1999, when the project was just finishing, I then joined this university, Liverpool Hope University, where I am now, initially on a 9-month contract back in 1999, and I'm still here. I've gone through the ranks, I've been head of department, etc. And now I'm engaged with teaching and research. And my specialism, as you might guess from what I've said, is in coastal dunes. So not only teach it and research it on CIEEM accredited courses, but also get involved in quite large projects, working with the RNA, with golf, representing statutory agencies and public inquiries, most notably standing up against Donald Trump for what was then SNH. And so, yeah, get involved. I'm very involved with CIEEM. I founded the Northwest Geographical Section. I've been on the governing board. I've served on the membership and mission committee for many, many years, and I was an early member of CIEEM. In fact, it was IEEM, not chartered, back in the early 90s. So long involvement and big support of CIEEM as it is now, and particularly through our accredited courses here. So what's my mentoring experience? Well, obviously, I work with students on a day-to-day basis, undergraduates and particularly postgraduates on our MSc Ecology and Environmental Management. So mentoring them in lots of different ways. Also mentoring colleagues and staff over the years, new lecturers, new academics in the department. And you might have noticed I've got, I don't use my academic qualifications, but I've got Rev in front of me, I'm a Reverend. I also I'm a Catholic minister, and am very involved in formation and developing people in ministry. I have research projects on that as well. And so I mentor people in a faith setting as well. But the CIEEM mentor was really pleased to get involved with the CIEEM mentoring. I jumped at the chance when it came along. And that's because, I suppose, to be a mentor, this is kind of quite important. I like people. People are great. I like working with people, and I like to encourage success. And so to help people to maybe look at issues and problems through different lenses, through different perspectives. And although I'm, you might say, a bit of a gobby scouser, one of the things I like to do is to listen to people and help them to work out. And usually, as a mentor, you find that the people actually have the answers themselves, and all you help them to do is to peel back some layers to come to some kind of self-realization. And to help them to do that, it's really good that you like asking questions in different ways. So I suppose that's where the academic thing comes in as well, asking interesting questions. So there's my experience. I really encourage you to be a mentor. It's enormously rewarding, and it helps to build the future.
Thank you very much, Paul. Much appreciated. So thank you, everybody, for that. And thank you, Sue and Annie, as well, for sharing your experiences of the mentoring platform. Much appreciated. And your personal experiences. So if you're feeling inspired to take the next step, here's how we can get involved. Okay, so at present, like I said earlier on, we have about one mentor for every 3 mentees. And we're keen to actually increase that ratio to encourage more of our members to become a mentor, and to been able also to provide our other members the opportunity to receive this valuable support and advice. We're also looking to increase the range of expertise on offer, and we're keen to develop these further. We're looking for mentors from across the whole of the UK and the Republic of Ireland, covering a range of specialisms, including being a chartered ecologist, people management, maybe helping with work-life management or managing the home life, project management, people management. If you're looking at potentially going self-employed or set up your own consultancy, then how you can do that. So if you've got experience of doing that, we'd be grateful to hear from you. Quite a lot of people receive mentoring around starting or progressing a career. So that's a very continuing growing area. So that would be really helpful if you can provide that sort of experience. Also help with upgrading membership. And also we're keen to hear from fellow members and chartered members who might be interested to become a mentor, because again, those membership grades, we're keen to help promote people up through the different grades of membership. Finally, we're also very keen to encourage more of our younger or earlier careers members to become mentors. So I would like to offer all final year students at university or recent graduates the opportunity to have a mentor to help them with the transition from university to finding their first job. So if you are an early career member or a qualifying or associate grade, and you may have experience of this transition yourself from university to full-time employment, then you're in a good position to offer some relevant and recent potential support and insights into this and how they can make that step. And also how to find the first role. You might be a career changer, so we are looking for more mentors that can provide experience of how you may have actually gone from one career into this career and how you found that. So providing that experience again be really useful for that transition. So if this sounds like you, then we're very interested to hear from you. Like Chris mentioned earlier on, head to our website. I have just followed it on our website. If I pull across this on our website, hopefully you can all see this. On our website, you can go to CIEEM, then Continuing Professional Development, and then you head to the mentoring platform, and it will then head to this website here, which you can then sign up for the mentoring platform. I will send it with the follow-up recording with this webinar, so you can follow the platform link. Okay, so that comes to the end of the formal part of the webinar. If you've got any questions, then please pop them in the chat. We've got about 20 minutes for a Q&A with our panel of members here. So if you are interested in popping a question in, then please do. I'll put their pictures through. So the panel members, if you have to just put your cameras back on, please. and that'd be great. We can see everybody. There we go. Perfect. So I've got a couple of questions to start us off. Let me quickly find them again. There we go, wrong screen. So thank you all for your insights earlier on. So to start with, Sue, what do you think might be the key qualities needed to become a mentor, from your experience?
You need to care about both the profession and the people who are in it, because you need to actually help them become the best they can be as people, but also that they can contribute the most to ecology in general, the quality of the world, the environment, whatever it is. And a little bit of taking a back seat and looking at things from a slightly different perspective, because an awful lot of the time you're actually helping people to solve their problems. And a lot of times that just needs to give them a slightly different perspective. So you need to be able to step back and look at things from the bigger picture.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Sue, for that. Annie or Paul, did you want to jump in, and any other qualities that you feel meant to add to that at all?
Just one thing. I think as well as listening to problems, I don't think mentoring is just about problems. I think it's about growing your confidence. If you've got a lack of confidence, you could see that as a problem. But I think it's about helping people meet their full potential and realizing that that's possible. And I think one of the key things with being a mentor, particularly for people who aren't self-employed, if they're in a business, you are providing an objective, safe environment to share ideas. And as Sue said, you have to want to listen and to want to be involved. And I think that means that you also have to be reliable, so that you will give as much as you can and somebody can trust you.
Yeah, I'd follow those up in agreement with both of you. And that last point about trust, you'd be able to hold confidence with somebody that people may share with you things that you're not broadcasting them. I think I mentioned it in the talk as well. One of the big qualities is just to like people. If you don't like people, it's not much point in being a mentor.
Thank you very much, the three of you. Thank you for that. I had one question. Apologies. If you are interested in submitting a question, then do put it through either the chat or the Q&A part of the Zoom platform here. So Q&A. We've got one come through so far. From Josie. So this is the panel members here. So what support is offered for mentors? So what support is offered, and also what you feel support is needed and might be missing, what you can maybe add to that as well, potentially.
So maybe I'll start this one off. Someone like our other panelists who has experience of mentoring in various situations and various contexts. I found that mentoring platform the resources there for the mentor were really useful, and I found it really quite refreshing to go back and listen and watch the videos and the resources there, and it helped me to go back and refresh my understanding of mentor, and hopefully be a better mentor. And perhaps that's something that as mentors we should remind ourselves to do on a regular basis.
Thank you, Paul. Just another question come in. This is from an anonymous attendee. I'm more of an early career ecologist. I have 5 years experience now, so it'd probably be more suited to helping new graduates into ecology. Would I be someone that would be useful as a mentor, or are you looking for more experienced people of the industry? And maybe I should find a mentor myself. So I can go back to something very quickly. Yes, you can also sign up on the platform as a mentee, and a mentor, so you can provide mentoring for somebody else, but also you can receive mentoring for yourself as well. So the ability of the platform is to do that. And as an early career ecologist, yes, we are encouraging more of our early career ecologists to actually sign up, because although you've got 5 years, got 5 years experience there, so a vast amount of experience. And yes, you can help potentially new graduates into the sector, and that's the key part we're looking for at the moment, particularly as the gap we're hoping to fill. So please do sign up, and again, we can support you in that program. Thank you.
Craig,
Anyone else?
could I Craig, could I just make a comment there? I know another young person who had signed up as a mentor and has never been asked to be a mentor for a mentee. And I just wonder if there's some way that we, in your role, that can perhaps look to encourage that. Just as you've just said to the person who's raised the question, I think there are other people who maybe would like to share their experience. And it might be something having a look at.
No, certainly. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, there's one of our campaigns going forward for the mentoring platform in particular is actually encouraging more early careers members to sign up as a mentor. We recognise the transition from education, but also from other routes into the sector, and how people find it can be difficult and challenging to find the first role or get on the career ladder, or even find an opportunity. And as a side note, we have got a separate standalone website we've been building over the last few months called Green Jobs for Nature. And this is about the range of opportunities in the sector, different job profiles and how you progress, but also how you join the sector. And that's a website I'll share with the post meeting notes as well. And Sue, you've got your hand up as well.
Yeah, just that I think it's really important that people and the earlier stages in their career are able to talk to other people who have relatively recently experienced that. I mean, Annie and I are kind of at the far end, and for our experiences may have differed significantly over that time. I'm wondering if there might be some sort of way of having very short-term mentoring for people early in their career, simply because they don't have time. And I think that's, I mean, what shows here, we're at the opposite end, and we've got a little bit more time to spend, and therefore have gotten into mentoring at a late stage. But if there was an opportunity for people to get in touch for relatively short-term mentoring interactions, that might encourage the younger people to get involved.
And that's a good point, Sue. Thank you. And also, the platform does have the ability, if you're a mentor, if, for example, you've got a busy summer, survey season in particular, you can make yourself unavailable. So you won't appear necessarily in the searches for mentees to find you. And then when like wintertime maybe, or when you've got a project out of the way and you've got a bit more capacity, you can then make yourself available online again. So potentially, the short-term mentoring could be done and handled that way as well, like certain times of the year. So, for example, you're at university still, or just left doing a postgrad or another course maybe, you could make yourself unavailable for that duration and then reactivate it a bit later on. Got a few more questions popping up, which is great. So we've got Lee. What makes a good profile on the platform? Should we go to Chris for that one?
Sure. Hi, Lee. Yeah, I mean, you've got as I mentioned on the run through. One of the benefits of the profile, hopefully, is it's quite straightforward and you can get started quite quickly. But it is worth putting a little bit of time and thought into your profile in terms of, your career summary. And although you will be able to pull out some of the skills and expertise that you feel confident in on the profile, I would also just, use your, the narrative and the free text to pull out maybe 2 or 3 specific areas that you feel confident in supporting the mentee in relation to in relation to CIEEM. So making that profile stand out, putting sort of like as much information, relevant information as you can into the narrative, is going to mean that when mentees come across your profile, they've got that sort of like additional background as well as the skills and expertise that you offer. And then also, it's not a static. If qualifications change, or you have a new experience that you want to place on your profile, you can always go back to your profile and keep it up to date. That's pretty easy to do. Your profile will be right in front of you on the toolbar. So I hope that helps. Oh, just one other thing I would mention. One other thing I would mention is the guides on the platform, and certainly the introductory video when you join the platform are really all about getting your profile to stand out. So you'll have those additional guides that you can refer to also.
Thank you, Chris. Also, just to make people aware, as part of the mentoring journey, when you sign up as a mentor and a mentee as well, you got automatic prompts through the system as well, so help you, remind you to set your profile, remind you to refresh it regularly, to log in. So it's also part of an automated system as well. So it is there to help you and also facilitate your journeys with the mentees as well. Got another question popping up from Joseph. I've arrived in the ecology sector quite late in my career as a career changer. I'm interested to know if there is much interest in mentoring from people who've moved into the sector later in life and perhaps not through the traditional university route. I'm in the early careers of my career myself and would be best suited to support early career mentees. Anyone like to take that one?
I mean, I'm just, you know, I know we won't have the industry knowledge in terms of saying, but in terms of a late joiner around your career, there are from anyway, you know, the ability to articulate other core skills that you may have that will be relevant to mentees on the program, whether that's around general leadership, project management, whatever that might be. I would, you know, wouldn't be put off at all putting some of those core skills onto your profile, as there will be mentees signing up who'll be, you know, really very interested in those type of core skills.
Thank you, Chris. And actually, we did have a query recently, actually. To go back to Jason, we did have a query recently about somebody who's actually looking for mentoring because they are a career changer who haven't come through the university route. So there are people out there who are looking for this mentoring experience. So if you are able to offer that, then do put it on your profile. And again, we are encouraging mentors from a range of backgrounds and different experiences. And also, if you've come from university, great. But if you haven't, if you've got other life experience of other career sectors, or you've come with a different route into the sector, then again, we'd be welcome to hear from you, because that's another sort of wealth of experience we can utilise. And we've got Annie, you got your hand up as well, Annie.
Thanks. Just to say that I agree with Chris, it's all about the experience of life, really. And you never know, even when you start in one place with the mentee, you don't always finish where you think you're going. So actually, what you've done or what part of your career you're in, I don't think that really matters. I think as long as you can interact successfully with somebody and listen to them and find a way forward, your whole experience of life is hugely valuable. And I know several of my interactions with mentees, not just with CIEEM but with others, have actually started perhaps discussing whatever, you know, life, the world and the universe, but have actually landed up with those people being successfully employed in new employment, so which is hugely rewarding. So I don't think it matters where you are. You can join that journey wherever you are. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you very much. We've got about 5 minutes left, so I'll go back to a couple of other questions we've got here. So let's have a look here. Open to any of the panelists there, really. Has being a mentor taught you anything about yourself? Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
Certainly. Human beings are amazing people, aren't they? In great depths and riches, and you know, you think you understand yourself and you really don't. And anyway, you change all the time as you go through your life in so many different ways. And so by interacting with other people as mentor and as mentees, I think our other panelists have mentioned the great benefits that you get for yourself. Increased self-realization, your strengths and your weaknesses, and areas that you can improve upon. So I think that one of the things you realize is that one of the benefits has been that the continual self-realization and how we change all the time.
Thank you, Paul. Annie or Sue, have you got anything you'd like to add, or how it's
just that it really is beneficial to you and to the mentee, and you may not even know the things that you're learning. You may have to go off and research something to help them out in terms of recent legislation or things of that sort as well. So it's hugely beneficial to both sides, and I think that you tend to think of it, oh, I'm doing somebody a favor because I'm being a mentor, but they're doing you a favor as well.
The only other thing I would add is the huge privilege I feel from having had a career which I absolutely loved and love. And I think it's in your interactions, it's interesting how even some of the more difficult and more challenging times have taught you a huge amount, which you can then share again. And I think that's what it's taught me. And it's also taught me, as Sue said, to be very aware, to keep up to date with legislation, keep thinking where's the industry going, make sure that you don't get left behind totally. So I think it's very beneficial. It has taught me a lot. I think it's a very rewarding experience.
Thank you very much.
But I'll just say one of the things I think is making sure that you live up to a commitment, and also timekeeping, because I've got my eye on the fact that I'm teaching at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Good point. So as we bring this webinar to a close, just final one from the mentors in particular, summing up your mentoring experience. Can you sum up in 3 words? So 3 words. So should we start with Paul? So 3 words that sum up your mentoring experience.
Oh gosh. There you go. No, fun, rewarding, more brackets, please.
Brilliant, thank you. And Sue?
Rewarding for sure, enjoyable, and sometimes challenging.
Okay, yeah. Challenge could be good. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Annie?
Very similar. I've written down rewarding, interesting, enjoyable.
Brilliant, thank you all. And thank you all for being a panelist today, and also for Chris as well for your support on the mentoring platform today as well. So thank you all for that. We've come to the end of the Q&A session now. So thank you everybody for your time today for the webinar. There's just a couple of upcoming webinars you might be interested in, and member network events that are on this slide here. Some of these are next week. So please look at our website for the latest training courses, but also member network events, special interest group events, and also webinars. Full listings on our website. And we'd like to hope to see you again at a future event. And we welcome your feedback, which we'll send the feedback form with the webinar post-recording. And also, if you've got any further questions, then do contact us, mentoring@CIEEM.net. Thank you everybody for your time today, and also our panelists. Do appreciate your time and effort today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.